Hello and welcome to my channel. This is another in my Thanksgiving 2017 card series. This card uses Stampin Up Flower Shop set and Pansy punch to create this floral spray. If you've watched my earlier video on my grandson's birthday card, I ended up with multiples of square stitched frames, and this is one of those cutouts that I had left over. So this card is doing a little bit of paper saving because I'm trying to use up those squares and not throw them away. If you of course didn't have those squares, then you could just cut out a piece of black paper and the design will be just as beautiful for you. So let me move this aside and show you the materials that this card uses and go over the methods. The papers that this design uses is a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a white panel cut 5 1/4 by 4, a black panel also 5 1/4 by 4, a sheet of pattern paper which is 5 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of watercolor paper. This is 2.5 by 5.5, but I might need a little bit bigger piece. I think 6 inches would probably be better to ensure that you had enough. And of course my black stitched square, and this is 1.5 inch square. All right, the stamp sets I'm using today is going to be Wonderful Stampin' Cut by Hero Arts. This stamp set features a die cut that cuts out the word wonderful, and also you have the outline and the fill for the wonderful. I'm using the Stampabilities Fall Holidays because I need this little leaf here. And the primary stamp set is the Flower Shop by Stampin' Up. This is a series of 6 florals that you can use in your design, and it has a coordinating punch, the Pansy punch, which cuts out either one of these things. It takes a little bit of turning it to line it up properly sometimes, and you may see me struggle with it. But Frances Martin, who is my Stampin' Up demonstrator, she suggested that you put a little dot at the bottom of the punch and a corresponding dot on the stamp, so that will help you line the two things up. But when I put this is a mistake that I made. When I put the stamp on the block, I didn't line it up good enough, so my dot is over here when it probably should have been over there. So I still struggle with that a little bit. The inks I'm going to be using is Versafine Onyx Black, and I'm going to be using, let me bring this in, water-soluble wax pastels. These are basically watercolor crayons, and I got this from, you can see right there, the Goodwill. It cost me $4.99. Get back in there. This was a really lucky find for me, and I'm going to be doing some watercoloring with these. I'm also going to be using gold glitter tape, and I still, believe it or not, have some of these leaves from the dollar store. I started out with 50, and I've used all of the orange, and I'm down to the green, but I still found a way to use it. I'm also going to be using some rhinestones. So let me clear this away and show you how to create the card. The first thing I want to do, I've brought in my stamp mat, and I'm going to stamp the flower. So as I said, if this is not quite big enough, I may need to grab another piece of watercolor paper, but let's see how it goes. So I'm going to try to stamp it in a way that this dot is going downward, so that means I'm going to turn it a little bit. Okay, that's one. Oh yeah, I'm going to have enough. Oops, a little bit high. Oh well. Okay. Now this is going to be very simple coloring. So I'm going to start off with the purple, And I'm going to put the purple in the center of the darkened area, following the shadowing of the stamp itself. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in a paper towel and my water pen. Make sure that the water is flowing, and just water the color out and make it go to the edge of the petal, so it will naturally develop shading as it gets to the end, because more water flows and it's not as dark on the edges as it is on the center. See, very simple. Clean that off, and now I'm going to go and do the other flowers. Okay, that just needs a moment to dry, so I'm going to set that aside. Remove those, and now I'm going to bring in my Mystic tool, which I have already put the stamps that I'm going to use in place. Oh, had something sitting on top of it. Okay, so I'm taking the inside panel and hold it in place with the magnet and stamp it with the Versafine. This has the sentiment, which I don't remember what it says. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. All right. Let me clean this up real quick because I don't want to make a mess. And I'm going to slide this up to the front part, put it back in, and this Words Wonderful has a filler which I've already put in place, and you can see that it'll line up right where it needs to go. But I failed to bring over an ink color, so give me a second to get that ink. Okay, I needed bamboo leaves and potter's clay. So the bamboo leaves, ink up the words, make sure that hasn't moved. And there you go, right in the center. Clean this real quick. Bring this back, and I have the leaf already on a block, and I'm going to put two of the leaves on. One here and one there. Now bring in the Pansy punch, and I'm going to punch out the leaf, and I'm going to line this dot up with the bottom petal, and if I did it right, it should perfectly line up. You may need to trim it a little bit so that you can get the punch in. So I'm going to give this just a slight trim. Just take your time and line it up so that you have an even amount of white space around the entire petal. There. Okay. The rest of the card is just simple assembly, so I'm going to let the music run and put everything together for you. Okay, that's the finished card. Very quick, very simple, and using up paper scraps to create it. You could recreate this card with any floral that you had, if you had embellishments or other cutouts or other stamps. You could come up with a design that looked very similar to this and very pretty. I will mention that, as I frequently do, when I'm using glitter tape, I don't remember to put the glitter tape down at the right time. So if you do this, put the glitter tape down to the gray before you put it to the black mark. I tried to line it up as near as I could, so it's a little bit off on this side and a little bit off on that side, but you can see it looks a lot better when it's done properly on this one. And I forgot to put the rhinestones down, so let me do that real quick. My finger's a little sticky now, and this has lost its glue dot. Let's see if I could get it on there. There, that's enough. So as I said, this was a very easy and quick design, and I hope you will try it yourself with whatever materials that you do have available to you. I'd like to thank my brother for the music that he's providing for my channel, and I hope you're enjoying it. You got to hear more of him this time than me, because the design is so simple. I just didn't have much to talk about in this one. If you haven't subscribed already, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I put out new content very frequently, and I'm trying to make very useful and timely videos. And this is Friday, and that means, drum roll, Freebie Friday. And I was going to give free cards as my freebie, but I decided today that I'm going to give away this set of watercolor crayons. So if you leave me a comment, and you have to specifically say that your comment is for a chance to win these crayons so that I will know, I will send you this. I will need your address to send it to you, and it's a little bigger than a card, so you have to give it a little bit extra time to reach you. But this is my Freebie Friday today, a complete set of watercolor pastels. And you saw how quick and easy this was. You just need a fluid pen, a water pen, sorry. So you can have this for your Freebie Friday, and please subscribe and get your chance to get free things that I frequently give away. I may not get the video up until later Saturday, but it's going to be Friday evening, first thing Saturday morning. But this week, free pastel crayons. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Take care.